If you feel tired, foggy, inflamed, or metabolically stuck, you've probably heard this advice. Take this supplement, try this diet, do this biohack, fix your mitochondria. But here is the problem. A lot of mitochondrial health advice online skips the most important question. What is stressing your cells in the first place? Mitochondria do matter. They are deeply connected to cellular energy, but they are not magic buttons. And if your sleep is broken, your blood sugar is unstable, your mouth is inflamed, or your body is fighting chronic stress, one supplement is usually not the answer. So today we're going to cut through the myths and talk about mitochondrial health in a more honest and practical way. Not with hype, not with fear, and not with one size fits all advice. So here's why mitochondrial advice online feels incomplete. Mitochondria are real. Mitochondrial dysfunction is real. Cellular energy does matter, but the way people talk about mitochondria online can be too narrow. So some make it sound like fatigue is always a mitochondrial problem. Some make it sound like CoQ10, magnesium, or one special supplement can fix everything. Some make it sound like one diet is the answer for everyone. And some talk about mitochondria as if they are separate from sleep, blood sugar, inflammation, movement, oral health, and medical conditions. And that is the mistake. Your mitochondria do not live in a separate world. They respond to the environment inside your body. So the better question is not what is one thing that fixes mitochondria? The better question is, what kind of environment are my cells living in every single day? And that is where root cause thinking begins. So let's keep this simple. Mitochondria are tiny little structures inside your cells that help produce energy. Think of them like small little turbine engines. They help to turn food and oxygen into usable energy so your body can think, move, heal, repair, and function. But an engine does not work well just because you add one special ingredient. It needs good fuel. It needs oxygen. It needs maintenance. It needs less stress on the system. And it needs the rest of the machine to work properly. So your body is similar. Mitochondria are influenced by what you eat, how you sleep, how much you move, your blood sugar stability, your inflammation level, your oral health, your stress, and your medical history. And that's why one quick fix approach is incomplete. Mitochondria don't just need support, they need a better internal environment. So, we're going to talk about myth number one: supplements fix everything. This is probably the biggest myth. Many people hear about mitochondrial nutrients like CoQ10, magnesium, B vitamins, carnitine, or antioxidants. And some of these may certainly be helpful for people in certain situations. But supplements are not a replacement for the foundation. I understand why supplements are tempting. When you feel exhausted, you want something that works fast. You want something that has immediate impact. But if someone is sleeping 4 hours a night, they're eating high sugar foods all day, they're not moving around, they're carrying chronic inflammation, ignoring bleeding gums or infections, then supplements alone are not solving the root problem. They may add some support, but they are not removing the stressors that are behind the problem. So before chasing yet another supplement, we need to ask better questions. Is blood sugar stable? Is sleep restorative? Is there chronic inflammation? Is the mouth healthy? Is the body moving enough? Is there an untreated medical or dental issue? So the goal here is not to reject supplements. The goal is to stop treating them like shortcuts. Mitochondria need a healthier environment, not just another capsule. This isn't a supplement or capsule deficiency, right? All right, myth number two: fatigue is just age. So another common myth is that fatigue is just part of getting older. And yes, energy may change with age, but constant exhaustion should not be dismissed as normal. If someone wakes up tired, crashes after meals, needs caffeine to function, has brain fog, heals slowly, or feels inflamed all the time, that absolutely deserves attention. So, fatigue can come from many sources: poor sleep, blood sugar swings, low movement, nutrient deficiencies, stress, anemia, thyroid problems, medication effects, infection, inflammation, oral disease, sleep apnea, and other medical conditions. As you can see, the list is huge. So, when someone says you're just getting older, that may not be the whole truth. That may be incomplete. A better question is, what is making your body work harder than it should have to? And age may be one factor, but age should not be the excuse to ignore patterns that can be evaluated and improved. So the goal is not to promise that every fatigue problem can be fixed easily. The goal is to take the signals seriously. All right, myth number 3, the mouth has absolutely nothing to do with energy. Now, this myth certainly needs more attention. Many people think oral health is separate from the whole body health. Certainly, our medical profession separates out dental from the rest of the body. They think that the mouth is only about teeth, cavities, and appearance. But the mouth is part of the body. It has blood flow, it has bacteria, it has immune activity, it has tissue repair, and it can have inflammation. If someone has bleeding gums, chronic gum inflammation, bad breath, oral infection, slow healing, the immune system may be responding to those stressors. And immune activity, it costs energy. This doesn't mean that the mouth causes every energy problem. That would be far too simplistic. But the mouth can be part of the body's total inflammatory burden, and that burden may affect how the body feels, heals, and produces energy. So, if we are talking about mitochondrial health, we cannot ignore the mouth because mitochondria respond to the internal environment, and chronic inflammation is part of that environment. So, what should we focus on instead? A better mitochondrial health framework has 5 parts. First, stable fuel. That means eating in a way that supports steady energy instead of constant spikes and crashes. For many people, that starts with enough protein, fewer sugary snacks, real foods, and better meal rhythm. Second, restorative sleep. So, sleep is when the body repairs. And if sleep is broken or fragmented, then energy will suffer. And if someone snores, wakes up gasping, or feels exhausted after a full night in bed, and that was me for many, many years, that absolutely should be evaluated because it's very likely sleep apnea, where you stop breathing at night. Just to put sleep apnea in perspective, and this is what I tell my patients, sleep apnea, you're literally choking and suffocating at night while you sleep. So it should definitely be taken seriously. And if untreated, absolutely can shave years off your life. All right, so third is movement and muscle. Walking, resistance training, and regular daily movement help the body use fuel better. They also support metabolic health and cellular energy. Now, you don't have to do punishing workouts. You need to do consistent movement. And then fourth, oral health and inflammation control. So bleeding gums, bad breath, infections, and slow healing, these things should not be ignored. The mouth can be one source of inflammation the body is constantly having to manage. And then fifth, proper medical evaluation. So if fatigue is persistent, severe, or unexplained, it shouldn't be brushed off as nothing. There may be thyroid issues, anemia, sleep problems, blood sugar problems, infections, medication effects, and other medical causes that need attention. So remember, this video is for education only and is not a replacement for personal medical or dental advice. So don't stop medications, supplements, dental treatment, or medical care based on a single video. If you have persistent fatigue, uncontrolled blood sugar, bleeding gums, unexplained weight changes, pain, infection, or symptoms that continue, speak with a qualified doctor or dentist, physician, or DDS. All right, so here is the truth, my final message. Mitochondria do matter, but the internet often makes mitochondrial health far too simple. It's not just supplements, it's not just age, it's not just one diet, and the mouth is not separate from the body. Your cells are responding to the world you create inside your body every single day. So the question is, are you giving your cells an environment that supports energy or an environment that keeps them under stress? And before chasing another quick fix, ask what your body is fighting every single day. And this is where real root cause thinking begins. If this helped you see mitochondrial health differently, comment down below with the myth that you hear most often, and make sure to subscribe for more root cause health conversations that connect the mouth, metabolism, inflammation, and long-term energy. I want to thank you for your attention and your time, and I'll see you in the next video.